All right, y'all. So now we're going to talk about particle systems. Okay, so this is another component. Again, these are sort of community created things that you can use in your project. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use these particle systems. So we're just going to mix it into the project that we've been building. All right, so here's what we need to do. The installation, we just need to add in this package, right? So here's the package here. So we'll just grab this, and this is going to go right underneath our, so it's going to go where we put the text geometry, and just make sure that it goes underneath where you have the A-frame. Okay, and that's obviously not going to do anything. So what we need to do, that's just going to link in the library. So we're going to take a look at some of these examples. So here's an example of the particle system star, okay? So we can do stars, dust, rainbow, snow, colors. Colors sounds cute. Excellent. Okay. So, and then we can also like put our own texture on there. So here's all of the specifications for the component, right? So all of the different things that you can use with them: direction, duration, enabled, texture, the texture used by the submitter, randomized, all these good things. Okay, so I think what I'll do to start off with, it's relatively easy. Here's so let's just do this dust. So it's just an entity. We're gonna copy this in here. Okay, so particle system preset dust. Okay, so we'll just copy this one in here, and I'll put it maybe just right below my assets for the time being. I should probably reorganize this stuff. All right, so when we play this, should have a particle system emitter kind of doing its thing. All right, so we linked it, we're good there. Let's see if we can see it. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this one, it's kind of just sort of like a general. There's ones that have like more specific, we can control like exactly where they're going. If you just kind of throw it in here from these presets, what will happen is that it'll just sort of be like ambient, right? But we do have like a lot of control over these. So let's just switch a couple of them out. So we can do, this is dust, we can do snow. Here's the ones that we can do. We can do stars, dust, rain, snow, colors. So let's try stars. All right, so here's our stars. And so the dust is sort of just more ambient. The stars is definitely a bit more directional. Okay, so you can have a lot of control over exactly where you put the stars. So if we grab the inspector and we grab that entity, all right, so that's its position right there. So we can actually have it being like have it coming out of something. So all these will sort of have like a little slightly different type of behavior that we can leverage. So I'm just trying to get to the point where I can grab that entity. Here we go. Okay, so we can kind of maybe put this right on the top of my type. So it kind of looks like there's stars coming out of my type. All right, good enough. And then we'll do -1, 2.5, -2.1. So we'll do position. I don't remember what that said. -0.1, 1.9. Ooh, I don't remember. I think this was like 2.5, right? Somewhere around there. I'll let y'all figure that out. All right, cool. So close enough, you can sort of position it where you want it to go. But we have a lot of other options, right? So we have dust, stars, um, rain, snow, colors. So stars, let's just try rain, because they'll all sort of behave a little differently. So that's rain. Here's snow. All right, so snow's kind of like a little bigger, and we can control like how much it has. And then we can do colors. All right, and I believe colors allows you to do a texture, so you can kind of do whatever you want. So colors is really similar to stars, but it will allow us to kind of use our own version of that image. So let's try that first. So let's go back here and let's take a look at this example down here. So we have this preset dust and then we have this texture, okay? And so what we can do is I think we can loop in an actual image texture. So the way that I'll do that is I'm going to do, let's just check where that goes inside of. So that's going to go inside of the particle system. So it's going to be a property and value set for the particle system. So we'll go in here, particle system, semicolon. So we'll do texture. And the syntax on that is a little interesting. Okay, so texture, so it's kind of like true CSS. Okay, so let's try this. I'm just going to copy and paste this over just so I know everything I need to add. Okay, and then in here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a Furby PNG because that just seems right. Here we go. This one's real creepy. Okay, and I'm just going to download this. Let's see. Save image as. All right, and then I'm going to add it to my assets folder. So I'll upload this. Let's see. Furby. Add it there. Let's grab our CDN. Okay. And I'm going to put it here. Put the URL here. There's another nicer to look at way we can do that, but let's just do this for now. And then our color, let's mess with that in the web inspector. So let's see, preset colors. There's our texture. All right, let's see how that works. All right, so I have my Furbies. So I'm wondering, so this is a PNG, which I thought would render out as a transparent background. So the one that they used was a, so I don't know, maybe we'll solve that later. But that's how you can do images. I'm curious to see what this, let's do color. Curious to see what the color is about. I think that's probably all the different ways that you can render. Oops, not that. I want this. So I think that's going to be all the colors that you can render this out as. And we'll solve that transparent situation later. We might have to grab a JPEG. I think they were using a JPEG. So, okay, yeah, so that kind of renders it as like greens. So I think we can just pass it like a bunch of different colors so that like as it populates, it'll populate semi-randomized colors. So it looks like you get 3 options for colors. Cool. All right, so some of them are coming in as pink. Super weird. And I'll get back to y'all on what kind of image. It might be like you need a white background or a black background. Let me just look into that a little bit. Should be a pretty easy fix. Okay, so let's just look at some of the stuff that we can add with the actual particle effect. So I might just switch this back to, let's just use the stars for now. Just get rid of this texture friend here. All right, so these are going to be that star, and then it'll render out in the colors that I tell it to render out in. Cute. Okay, so let's use our inspector to kind of see what else we can do with this. So, oops, let's give this an ID so we can just see which one it is. Let's name this party. All right, so let's find party here. Let's move back a little. Okay, so here's party. Okay, so first thing, let's just get it situated so that it kind of looks like it's coming out of the top of our type. So let me just move around a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay, so here are all the options you could possibly use. These are called the public variables. Here are all the options that we can use with these. So our acceleration speed, we can control the acceleration speed, the acceleration values, how much blending we want it to have with the environment, max particle count, like how many is the maximum we want, if we want them to be opaque, what the actual particle count is, the speed, the preset, so we can kind of like switch these up really easily from here. If we want it to randomize, if we want it to rotate, I don't know, let's give it like a 180 rotation. You can give it a rotation axis, so you can say, like, maybe you could say like Jurassic. We can control the size. Obviously, you can give it a texture, which will give it a, which will give it that actual image. And then, we can control the velocity speed and the velocity value. So lots of different stuff that we can do here. Because I changed the position, I'm going to just grab the entire entity, and I will just copy and paste and replace the one that I have. And it's probably going to bring in a bunch of stuff I'm not using, but then we can kind of use that as a template and see what things look like. All right, so let's see how that renders. Oops. Oh, I think, did we change it to dust? I think we might, yeah. So we want colors. All right, so here is something I accidentally made, which I think looks really cool. So let's see what's happening with this. Okay, so it looks like I think, so this is a little tricky to see just because it can't actually show it live. It might have something to do with the rotation axis and the angle. 0 I think just lets it go wherever it wants to go. So I don't know. Let's try 0 on the rotation angle. Rotation axis, Jurassic. Let's see what happens when we do this. Okay, so that's 0. All right, some interesting, fun stuff happening. Um, and I'm curious so maybe it is the rotation axis. Maybe that actually allows it to just like sort of use this piece as its kind of like guide. Let's see what happens when we get rid of that. I mean, I'm pretty into what's happening there. It's very strange. Okay, so that's not doing it. Let's just keep going. Rotation angle. Velocity spread. Maybe that's what it is. Before it was just all zeros. Randomized true. Blending 1. Let's see. Okay, cool. So I think something about the maybe something about the angle itself is kind of what's allowing this to sort of look like it's going up or down. But here's a little trick that we can do. If we right click on one of these and do save image as, this should be that star. So let's see if we can get that. No. Okay, never mind. But that's also kind of a cool feature. I think if you right click, you can do save image as. So I am curious to see like what kind of image, if it needs like a black background or a white background, but I might have to get back to y'all about that one. Let's just try one more time. Let's see. Okay, so the acceleration value, velocity value, rotation angle. I'm pretty interested in this. Let's try 90. So if 0 is sort of coming at us, maybe 90 is the one that's going just straight up. Hmm. Let's see. So I'm wondering now if we can, so maybe we can actually just use the rotation, sort of rotate this. Yeah. And then kind of have it have a bit of a source. So I think that's also an option as well. And then have it, the position, kind of move over exactly where we want that start point to be. So maybe we want it to kind of look like it's coming out of this friend here. I think that's probably close enough. We'll bring it a little closer. Okay, so I might just grab this whole thing again and replace this one like I was doing before. Okay, well, I don't know. I might just encourage y'all to kind of like mess with these particle systems. We could also try, let's just try one more. Let's just try the maybe dust one here. Because the one other thing that I want to show you is just like how you can kind of take this sort of really sparing effect, right? So this one's like really aggressive and a little ridiculous. The particle one is going to be, that one's just really subtle, right? So that's the one that, these are just those like little orbs floating around. If I'm correct, I believe you can control, let's actually look here. I think you can do the particle count, the total number of particles the emitter will hold. Note this is, let's see, number of particles or anything like that, the number of particles emitted per second, particle count. Okay, so it automatically goes to 1,000. So, and if you have any questions about like what any of these things are, especially the stuff that we're looking at in the inspector, this is what's going to tell you everything that's happening. So angle rotation, position spread, type, drag value. Yeah, let's try the particle count. Okay, so we'll do particle count for the dust. We'll do that here. Oh, and that goes inside of particle system. Particle count. It defaults to 1,000, so let's try like 4,000. And let's see if that gets us more. Oh, wait. No quotes. My bad, y'all. And not an equal sign. Whoops. And there we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, geez. All right, so that should increase the particle count for us. Yeah, so that gives us like way more little floaty friends. Okay, and I think if you wanted to, you could even put a texture on that. Let's see if we can find any more information on that texture. The texture used as the emitter, let's see if there's any more information here. So this image is star 2. I'd like to know what that star, install and use directly by including the browser files. Let's see what this is about. Images. Aha, here we go. Cloud, raindrop, shockwave, star. Perfect. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I think these might be images that it comes with. So, yeah, so these are all the images that it comes with. Let's take a look at what this image looks like. You can maybe download this. Save link as, let's try that. No, I don't want that. Download, here we go. So is it just a PNG? Oh, so it's just a PNG. Okay, so maybe the issue is that I downloaded a fake Furby PNG. Let's take a look at my Furby PNG. Ah, see? I'm a dum-dum. It's a fake PNG. It has the background. We want something without a background. So that's what was wrong. It's a fake PNG. Let's see. Let's see if this sad Furby. I should have checked that first. That's my bad. Furby transparent. Let's see if they're lying. Okay, this Furby is truly transparent. So, let's go over here to dust. And let's do our, so I think it was just texture. And let's upload our image, the fake Furby. Yeah. This one. And we'll just get the CDN. Sometimes that doesn't always work for me. Just manually copy it. All right. And then we'll do the texture, the URL for the texture, and then we don't close it out with any semicolon. So no semicolon on the end. Okay, so let's see. Now we should have a bunch of Furbies floating around. Hopefully. Yeah, look at the Furbies. Oh my god. Let's see if we can um let's try that color. Let's see if that helps us. Particle system preset colors. Let's see if this color helps us at all, because right now they're sort of like kind of blown out a little bit. So yeah, let's just try and see if adding some colors will help us with that. Oh my god, that's hilarious. And it also might be like the opacity or how the blend mode is working. Oh, okay, this means I broke something. Or maybe not. All right, let's see what else we have to solve that problem with. Let's go back to the actual. Okay, so we have max age, position spread, rotation axis, velocity value. So I'm looking for something that randomize opacity. Okay, so the natural opacity is going to be 1. So kind of want to see if those blending. Okay, the blend mode of the particles, possible values are 0 and 1 is normal. Okay, so we have all these different types of blending, right? And so additive, subtractive, those will give you like different, multiply. I'm sure y'all have done those in Illustrator or Photoshop. So you can try out these different ones. It'll give you like different ways that the particles will interact with things. So let's head here. Okay, so it's naturally going to be at 2. Yeah, okay, this is why it's not doing this. This is, wow, what a bad UI. So it's naturally at additive. So for instance, if we want the Furbies to just like be Furbies, we would do blending and we would do, instead of additive, we would do normal or 0. So let's head back here and let's do blending. I think it was 1. I don't remember. Yeah, 1 is normal. Okay, so that should allow us to just kind of see the Furby not in this blend mode. Oh my god. And then, that's hilarious. Look at all those little Furbies just floating through the air. Amazing. Okay, and then maybe let's try to mess with the blend mode on these stars too. Those stars are like really big. We might want to maybe resize them too. So let's go to this one. Particle system, colors, those are colors. It's a rotation angle, acceleration, spread, randomized true, blending. Okay, so it's on blending 1, so maybe if we try like blending 3. Oh, well that's kind of lame. 2. Okay, so then you kind of have this like more transparent situation. 1 is going to be normal, like we had. And then let's also look at the, is there something about size? Okay, describes a particle's size. So let's see what the values are for this one. This is such a, oh my god. Size. Okay, so 1 is going to be the normal size. So maybe we can try that. Let's see what size will do for us. Try like 0.5 to make it a little smaller. And then I'm sure it has something to do with like the variance of size as well. Okay, so yeah, that definitely made it smaller. Okay, cool. So that's just some options for you to work with particle systems. For instance, you could just work with like a more simple version and kind of have them like coming out of multiple angles, right? You could put like a bunch at all of the ascenders for the type. So you have a lot of possibility with those there. And before I wrap up, I think I might try something here. I might try to kind of get rid of some of this stuff. Definitely want to randomize. I think this stuff is kind of messing up how I kind of liked that where it was just sort of like a flute. It's kind of coming up from the bottom. So let's see if I can get that to render out again. Yeah, okay, so see, that's sort of like the normal particle system, right? They kind of like come out from the top. Um, so I think the more you mess with it, the more like the angle and stuff like that. Um, and then we can also look at the one thing I did want to look like is the number between drag applied to all particles. Let's see.